Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look, of course, here at Terra Classic, helping you understand best practice and big picture. And obviously just going to talk about this excellent candle we're seeing here today, because of course I've been given a warning the price is going to go down for quite a few days. It absolutely did that. We didn't quite hit as low as expected, but the main reason why is because we had this news that came out. And what that basically implies is that Binance is going to implement a burn mechanism to burn all trading fees for Terra Classic for spot and margin pairs. Now, this announcement came out, and of course, the price action shot up quite significantly as a result of that. Right. So again, this is a fundamental catalyst. These things definitely happen. You can expect these things to happen inconsistently when it comes to Terra Classic. This is more of a profound one though, just because Binance is of course a large exchange, one of the largest. So this news is pretty big. All right, so that allowed for the price to recover instantly, and we can see this strong amount of volume that occurred. Okay. So again, just some things to kind of understand going into this here. That being said, I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people to trade. Hope you can learn something today, of course, if you want to become a better trader. Obviously, cryptocash.tech is the website. Link in the description below. Check that out. I obviously have a trading academy, signals, and of course a university. So a lot of cool things that you can check out and kind of reference on your own time. But be sure to join over 200 active members right now on the website. Furthermore, the last thing I want to note, of course, is a partnership and affiliation with BitGet. Link in the description below for that, but obviously there is a pretty significant discount or benefit, basically a bonus for using the link in the description to allow for you to benefit from that transfer bonus. So basically you transfer funds and you use the exchange, and you receive a pretty healthy amount. It's all dependent on how much you transfer over, of course. The more, the better. Anyways, check that out in your own time. If you have questions, contact me. Everything's down below. All right, so here's the thing with Terra Classic we got to recognize. First of all, last 5-6 days have been pretty rough. I think a lot of us knew that. Hopefully you're able to dollar cost average on your way down if you were to obviously, this be more of a long-term investment for you. If you were to have caught this wick up, obviously very, very nice. We want to find out if it's going to sustain though. Here, and the thing about this is fundamental catalysts are oftentimes situations where you want to buy the rumor and sell the news. Okay, so hypothetically, we continue to buy Terra Classic until the news occurs, right? That's basically how it works in most cases. So again, just something to kind of think about there. That theory could apply to this trade. Okay, in other words, whatever the price action continues up to, we might see that be the case. And if it turns itself around, obviously the inverse as well. Okay. So again, just some kind of things to kind of understand the big picture, how that works. Let's look at the standard stuff though, of course, and see if it tells us anything that we need to know. The thing I like here so far is that we're back up over 50 on the RSI tentatively. And I say tentatively because, of course, this 28,000 range was a previous resistance level, if you know, of course, from before, right? That is potentially going to work as a support if we can close above and hold above for the next couple of days. Again, tentative for the moment. It's not concrete by any stretch because today's trading day isn't over, but once more, this candlestick is looking quite beneficial. You can also see a MACD convergence on the horizon. This definitely doesn't tell us that we're out of the woods yet, but it does tell us that this is starting to dissipate, and as that comes down, then we get closer to a convergence and the price action could shoot up from there. It's kind of a natural phenomenon that happens in trading with the moving average convergence divergence. Last to look at as well, we can see the price action working right within the moving averages. So the 20-day simple moving average is working itself as a resistance level. It's pretty standard for the first time, and we can kind of pretty much expect or anticipate the 50-day simple moving average working as a support level moving forward. Even though it broke below there, it did come back up above, and that is essentially now going to be a support level. Again, that's the concept there with moving averages. They're constantly moving and they're constantly averaging, and they're always changing as support and resistance levels. So we're kind of in this zone for the moment between the 20 and the 50. So here's a 4-hour candlestick for you. Obviously, I think it's even a shorter candle, but if we take a look here at this, 67% in roughly 4 hours or less. So absolutely a very, very strong candlestick. Obviously, the increase in volume led to this, and the speculation of course, Binance burning eventually, right? That is essentially where we're at. So if we take a look at that and kind of look at the factors here, we're back up over all the moving averages again. Okay, now that's a pretty big deal for the moment because that was what's working this descending trend originally. You can see the 20 itself working concurrent with the descending trend. So now that we broke back up above that, the likelihood of coming back down below those moving averages is lower, but again, it could still happen. So just kind of throwing it out there. Hypothetically, today was the news, today was a rumor, right? And then the news, whenever that may be, will be a situation where the price action might come back down. Okay, so I'd expect the price action to probably continue to increase over the next few days until the actual event occurs. All right, just be prepared for that. When the actual burn happens, that could very well signal a reversal, and that does happen a lot in trading. Okay, so just be careful of that. It's a general rule that you want to kind of remember, but moving averages are looking good. As far as the RSI, it's not overextended yet, which allows for us to ensure that we should have more upside. In other words, if the price were to consolidate, it could very well come down, bounce off about 28,000 and continue higher. And that would put us closer to 50 on the RSI here and allow for us to kind of bounce and stay within that range. Okay, so there's a good chance we could see, if it were to pull back to 28,000 and then to leg up from there. Okay, not saying it's going to necessarily pull back, but if it were to, that would be a perfect place for it to bounce and pivot based on it being a previous support level and resistance level. 28,000 has been a point of contention for some time now for Terra Classic. Okay, so again, mostly good stuff there as well. The daily and the 4 hour are looking pretty decent, above average. The only thing I don't love, of course, and this is just standard, disliking parabolic behavior because it has a tendency of crashing down, is TD sequential, right? We can see here, of course, we're up to a 7. We got a little reset. That's all well and good. But 1 hour, basically in 2 hours, we saw the increase. What was that? Roughly 65% in 2 hours. So it's definitely a lot, right? So in order for that to continue to sustain itself, it needs to continue to build volume at this price point above that support level, okay? So I think that's very likely to occur though. So it makes sense that the price action will continue sideways or up moving forward, just based on this being such a good little stimulation, so to speak, to the coin to allow for it to continue to move up. Let's take a look at the cloud, of course. We were stuck pretty hard under the cloud for some time, and now we're not, which is great. But you got to keep this in mind too. It's overextended, so it doesn't necessarily mean you want to add to your position right now, because even though we have all green lights, sort of, from the cloud saying the long position is much more viable, it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to just jump in right now because it's overextended, right? So if you were to consider jumping in, just say hypothetically, I'd recommend maybe putting in a small position now, and as the price continues to come down, add to your position, essentially dollar cost average, into it, so that way when it bounces again, which seems very likely, then you would be able to average your price down a little bit better. Okay, again, just kind of an approach, something that I cover in my trading university, of course, where, kind of helping you with, dollar cost averaging and averaging down, and then of course, when to effectively buy the dip. Because there's always a case in point where buying the dip in most situations it's typically disadvantageous. Okay, so again, just something to kind of think about there. But all in all, we're not looking terrible here for Terra Classic. It looks actually quite positive in the overall sense of things. Just note that we want to pay attention to it over the next couple of days and kind of see, because this could just be one of those pumps that happens based on the fact that we have that news on the horizon, right? And once the news actually happens, that's when we really want to pay attention to see how the price action responds. Because right now, the sentiment has shifted from bearish to bullish. All right. So for the most part, people are going to be wanting to go long versus short on this. Now, obviously, there's going to be some folks that are wanting to short it because they think it's going to come down. But based on its overall situation here, I don't think it's going to come down in the immediate future. Okay. If it does retrace at 28,000, that'd probably be a good place to buy the dip. That's my guess here at this point. But we'll definitely see. I'll go ahead and cover this a little bit more frequently too, perhaps even this afternoon, to kind of see what kind of price action we're looking at. Because I do get a lot of requests for this. This is like my biggest requested coin at this time. So I greatly appreciate your patience and, of course, your continued support. Thank you so much. Once again, if you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. Link in the description below. Obviously, trade signals, trading community, and trading university. It's a really awesome experience. I look forward to working with you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one.